Hello and welcome to my latest video. Today we are talking about the new moon solar eclipse at 8 degrees of Aries. We are in it. It is eclipse season. So we've been talking about the wacky astrology of March for quite some time now, and now we're actually in it. And I've been getting so many messages from clients and friends, and I'd say the number one thing is exhaustion. We're all feeling it. I've had this chest congestion thing still lingering. My ears are plugged, you name it. So many people have been going through all of the things during this extremely powerful time of March 2025. So in this particular video, we are going to talk about this new moon solar eclipse. This is the final eclipse on the Aries-Libra axis. So although we've been talking about the nodes, they are in Pisces and Virgo as we speak, but this is the final Aries and Libra. So think back to April of 2023. This is when the eclipses started on the Aries and Libra axis. We've had 2 years almost exactly of those eclipses. And now with the nodes in Pisces and Virgo, we're going to be having 18 months of those. So this is the final lesson in Aries, and it is a new moon solar eclipse. So it's a powerful new beginning. New moons are always about new beginnings. It's always about intention setting. But when it comes to a solar eclipse, a new moon on steroids, this is about that fated, that destined new beginning. Since April of 2023, we've been going through the lessons that the nodes have been strongly urging us to go through. So when it comes to Aries and Libra, it's all things me and we. So Aries seeks for you to be independent, not only in your thinking, but in your actions. And in its highest vibe, Aries is all about being childlike. In its lowest vibe, it is childish. But when you are childlike, it is tapping into that brilliance from your inner child and having joy in your everyday life. And in Libra, the South Node was in Libra for all those months. And that was all about getting into right relationship with yourself. And when you are in right relationship with yourself, then you will be in the right relationships, whether it's friends, lovers, you name it. So we were having all those lessons and they started in April 2023. So I urge you to think back to that time in your life because the lesson is now meeting its culmination point at the time of this new moon solar eclipse at 8 degrees of Aries. And we're going to go through an all signs forecast so you can bring out your birth chart and you can see how this eclipse is impacting your life. It's a very powerful new beginning for all of us. And what I'm going to get you to do is to look at where Aries falls in your natal birth chart so that you can personalize it. But first, we're just going to talk a little bit about the astrology of this particular solar eclipse. So again, it's at 8 degrees of Aries and it's at 3:57 a.m. PST. This particular solar eclipse is conjunct Mercury retrograde. So it is also conjunct Neptune. So both of those energies with this North Node eclipse being right near Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde can be foggy and you're not sure. It's not really, you can't think straight. Neptune has the same energy. Neptune is just still in Pisces at the very, 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 very final degree. The day after this new moon eclipse, this solar eclipse, the day after Neptune goes into Aries. So it's very activating, this eclipse. We're going to get into all of that as well with the Venus retrograde and everything too. But this particular new moon is right next to Mercury retrograde and right next to Neptune. This suggests a lot of brain fog and confusion and maybe delusional. So to stay grounded as humanly possible at the time of this solar eclipse, lots of water, grounding exercises. One that I love to do, a great grounding exercise I love to do during a meditation or even just when you're going to bed at night. Close your eyes and imagine your feet on the ground and the roots from the trees are connecting with your feet to really ground you down. So we're going to be needing to do some grounding work at the time of this solar eclipse. It's also sextile Pluto. So when the planets have sex, that's good for us, as a teacher once told me. And so that's kind of good. But Pluto is all about transformation. So let's remember that. It might feel like a lot of brain fog. It might feel like a lot of confusion and delusion. But just know that the planet of transformation, always seeking to transform our lives to get us to the next level, has a sextile to this new moon solar eclipse. Okay. So the nodes are currently in Pisces and Virgo. So the North Node is at 26 Pisces, and this new moon is at 8 degrees Aries. So it's a partial eclipse. It's not a total eclipse like the one in mid-March. And I believe that when I was going through all the nodes, I was showing you my moon journal, which is really helping a lot of people work with La Luna. When you know how to use the moon's phases, this is when you can dive deep into manifestation work. Okay, so if you look at this full moon lunar eclipse that we had on March 13, 14, this was a total eclipse. So the new moon that we're having on March 29 is a solar eclipse, and it's a partial eclipse. And it's happening at 8 degrees Aries at 3:57 PST. And then I give you a journal prompt for this particular solar eclipse. And I always teach that during eclipse season, especially at a solar eclipse, because a solar eclipse is a new moon. And so new moons, you usually always set your intentions, and I tell you how to journal your intentions in this book. But during the eclipse season, I encourage you to deeply step into that feminine energy and just observe what is showing up or what is leaving. And that's what eclipses do. Eclipses usually, depending on your personal birth chart as well, depending on how it's hitting your planets and your houses, something usually comes in or something usually leaves your life. And that is sort of a rule of thumb when it comes to eclipses. Eclipses are the great timeline shifters. And so oftentimes we are making decisions in life, and perhaps we get totally off track of what we came here to do. What is our goals in life? What was our mission in coming to Earth? Sometimes we make all these decisions and we get way off track. An eclipse, boom, will put you on the right track. That's what eclipses do. They are very spiritual when you look at them and when you accept that they are the great timeline shifters. So for some of us, we're making a couple of decisions, not sure. We're not too far off of the path that we wanted to walk on this earth and in this life. So the shifts might not feel as jarring as other eclipses. Some eclipses, and it might not even be a bad thing. I'm not even trying to be fear-based here at all. It might be something that finally you meet that business partner that you've been hoping to meet your whole life, and you've gone for decades, sorry, and you haven't met the right person to open that business with, and then boom, suddenly you meet that business partner. It can be things like that. You can meet your husband on an eclipse. That happened to me. And it also, you look at your birth chart, and for those people that have their nodes in Pisces and Virgo, this is really impacting you. And for those that have the Aries and the Libra, this is the final eclipse, not until another many, many cycles, right? So right now, what has happened since April 2023? This is the final point of those eclipses on the Aries and Libra axis. And this is a new beginning on steroids. And so for some people, it might be very jarring. Yes, I need a new beginning as a divorced woman. For other people, it might be, you know what? I need a new beginning in my health. And you have now started the cleanse and you're doing all the things. It's like a new beginning that you might have felt coming. You might have felt it, but you didn't have the decision-making skills. You didn't have the courage to do it. Courage is the name of the game when Aries is involved, because this is a North Node Aries eclipse final lesson for Aries. And so we've perhaps been building up our courage with all of those eclipses on the Aries and Libra axis. And you've been working on the courage and you've been working on becoming brave and you've been working at it. And now, boom, you are finally making the decision. It could have to do with friendships too, because the South Node is over in Libra. So Libra is all about relationships. And so, yes, it could be you finally know what to do in your marriage. You finally know what to do in that toxic friendship. Yes, it could definitely be about that. And we are going to go through the 12 signs for you to look at in your own natal birth chart. But for all of us, this is the new beginning that's going to take some courage. It's taken us some courage. It's taken us some bravery to get to this point. Okay. So Neptune is going into Aries the day after this eclipse. So it is activating this eclipse. Neptune has been in Pisces for years and it loves being in Pisces. So it's going to be very jarring and very jolting when Neptune enters Aries the day after this new moon solar eclipse. And all of us are going to get that boost. We're all going to feel that boost of courage, boldness, decision making. We're all going to feel it. And all of March, we've been asked to slow down. We were in eclipse season, which started in mid-March, but really that starts at the beginning of March because eclipses are that powerful that you feel them up to 10 days prior. We've got the Kali Yuga ending. Go back to the last video that I did with Joanna, and we talked about the end of the Kali Yuga. That's happening on March 21st. The spring equinox is on March 20th. This solar eclipse is on March 29th. And again, we've got Neptune going into Aries, March 30th. We've got Venus retrograde all of March. It started March 1st and it ends on April the 12th. Venus retrograde is asking all of us to soften and to slow down. And so have the eclipses. And that's why so many of us are feeling so exhausted. And a lot of us have gotten sick as well. This is initiating the creator degree. The creator degree is what the spring equinox is all about. The spring equinox is the astrological new year. If you want to set New Year's resolutions, you always do it at the spring equinox. You don't do it on January 1st. That has nothing to do with New Year's resolutions. This is the astrological new year of spring equinox. So these eclipses and Neptune going into Aries, it's all hitting that creator degree, that 0 degrees of Aries mark. And that is the beginning, it's the very first degree of the entire zodiac wheel. So it is the baby and it is birthing something new. And I have so many people, myself included, have been having birthing dreams. We're all being rebirthed at the time of this eclipse, at the time of Neptune going into Aries, at the time of this spring equinox. There's so many rebirth signatures in the astrology. And so that's what's happening at the time of this solar eclipse, which is a new moon on steroids, which is all about a rebirth, which is all about being courageous and bold and daring and taking the step because it's an Aries. And we, as a collective, have been going through these lessons to be just that, to be courageous, to be brave, and to take the steps and to make the decisions and to do the damn thing. We've all been encouraged to step into that energy since these eclipses started back in April of 2023. So now we know what to do. At this eclipse, we all know what to do. We have received the messages. We got quiet and still. Hopefully, we all listened to our bodies and we all slowed down and we took our naps and we got grounded and hopefully we all drank a lot of water and we just slowed down in March because this particular solar eclipse in Aries is so activating that we need to embody all of that courage and the bravery and the decisiveness that we've all been in training since the eclipses started, since this eclipse season started back in April of 2023. We all need to embody that courage now become the warriors, the spiritual warriors, if you will, to be bold and brave, make the decisions, do the damn things, but don't let that Mercury retrograde and that conjunction to Pluto fog you. Don't drown in the brain fog and don't drown in the indecisiveness that those conjunctions to this solar eclipse are giving us because we know what to do. We know, and I know that you know. So if you are thinking to yourself, what is it? Oh no, I don't know how to be courageous and brave, and I don't know what she's talking about. I highly encourage you to close your eyes, do that grounding lesson, put on some peaceful meditation music, and tap into the divine feminine that is still powerfully telling us what to do so that we can embrace the divine masculine of Aries. That's the the highest vibe of Aries is being the hero of your own life, doing it, making the decision, being brave, being courageous, taking the leap. And if we've been getting quiet in March and taking the naps and drinking the water and grounding ourselves in March, like the cosmos have been encouraging us to do, so that this eclipse that's hitting the very end days of March and hitting that 0 degree creation mark, we know what to do. We know how to co-create with the universe like never before. This is the rebirth that we've all been waiting for. So don't let that conjunction to Mercury retrograde and that conjunction to Neptune brain fog you. Don't let that happen. Step into your power, step into that spiritual gangster that you are, because we have had the training. We know what to do. And we can see how far we've come since April of 2023 when these eclipses started in Aries and Libra. We got into right relationship with ourselves. We got into the right relationships. We are finding our people. We are no longer distracted by relationships that are not serving us. We are no longer going toward relationships that are not reciprocal or the ones that are emotionally draining us. We are no longer available for emotional vampires. Those are all the kinds of lessons that we learned since April of 2023 when the nodes were going through Aries and Libra, getting us into the proper relationships, being brave and bold, making decisions, breaking up with friends, breaking up with lovers, knowing that we can do it on our own, being scared. Okay, what happens if I'm no longer part of this friendship group? What's going to happen? Being brave enough to just take the leap and knowing we're going to find our people because this is the rebirth time. So what is coming into your life at the time of this solar eclipse on March 29th? Journal it. Journal it. It might be an internal shift because solar eclipses often are internal. You don't see it. It's not a tangible manifestation. Like the new car is not driving into your, maybe, maybe you'll get a physical manifestation, but usually solar eclipses are that internal shift that change everything. Knowing you're worthy, knowing your worth. And once you know your worth, that's when that's when you become a super magnetic person. And that's when your people come to you. You could be walking down the street and you are an absolute magnet, right? So that is a mindset shift that completely changes your life. And you magnetize everything, all of your abundance, your tribe, your favorite, everything, your dream job. You become the great magnetic force in your life. And this is the time to do it. So I encourage all of you not to get into that foggy conjunction to Mercury retrograde or the foggy Neptune that's conjuncting the day of the eclipse. But don't forget the day after the eclipse. Neptune's moving into Aries, and what I predict for that is extreme spiritual awakenings. So people like that are listening to to this video, you're on the path, okay? So I feel that we are going to be opened up to even more spiritual gifts and even more joy and abundance because we're open to these things. But people in your life that you're thinking to yourself, there is no way they're going to be on a spiritual awakening path. It's it's going to happen when Neptune goes into Aries. And I think a lot of people are going to feel like they're losing their minds. And I think there's going to be a mental health surge when Neptune goes into Aries. I think a lot of people are going to be hurting. Just keep that in mind when you're out and about and people are not well. So let's hold the space for them because there's going to be an extreme spiritual awakening with Neptune going into Aries. Okay, so we've talked about what the forecast of this particular solar eclipse is, new moon on steroids, complete rebirth, and to embrace that Aries energy, to be brave, to be bold, to be childlike, which is joyful and having fun again and smiling and doing the things you like to do. So being bold and the great entrepreneur is Aries. So perhaps, just perhaps, there's a whole bunch of you out there listening to this and you know that you want to start that spiritual business. You want to start a YouTube channel. You want to start a podcast. You know that that's what you're being called to do. Well, that is the great Aries entrepreneurial energy calling you. Being bold, being courageous, being brave, being an entrepreneur, being childlike and full of joy and innocence. That is the great Aries energy. So I encourage all of you to follow those vibes. Don't let the foggy Mercury retrograde and Neptune conjunctions make you drown in brain fog and not sure what to do because this is such beautiful creation energy written all over this new moon solar eclipse. You're going to know what to do. You're going to be courageous. You're going to be bold. So now I'm going to go through the 12 houses to see where it's falling for you. And I'm going to encourage you to embrace that high vibe and Aries energy. And we know this energy well because we got trained by the nodes since April of 2023. This is the final eclipse on that axis. So now this is the new beginning after the culmination of all those lessons. So let's go through the houses. First, Aries. If you are Aries sun, or if you are Aries rising, or if you are Aries moon, you can listen for your sun, moon, or rising. Your sun is basically your career and what people see out there. If you're listening for your rising, that's what I listen to first and foremost. It's because this is going to show where it's hitting your particular natal birth chart. And then if you're an Aries moon, if you're listening for your moon, this is your emotional body, this is your feelings. So you can listen for all three, your sun, moon, and your rising. Those are your big three. So first, we're starting with Aries in the first house. Well, Aries. I'm an Aries sun, so this one I'm feeling, and it's hitting me very close to my natal sun as well. So this is new beginning on steroids for you, Aries. It's in your first house. Your first house impacts your entire life. Okay. So mic drop. This could be career. This could be family. This could be where you live. This could be any new beginning on steroids for you, Aries. And I am feeling that energy big time. I'm actually recording this on the 20th. So this is the spring equinox that I'm actually recording this video. So we're 9 days away. And I am feeling this energy from the eclipse in a big way. And that just goes to show with an eclipse, you can always feel it very strongly 10 days before, maybe even 2 weeks before, but for sure 10 days before, you can feel the energy of this eclipse. And this is 9 days away that I'm recording it, and I can feel it. I am an Aries sun. And yes, new beginnings happening all around me. So if you are an Aries rising or Aries is in your first house, just expect that and sit back. And you don't need to do the manifestation work. You don't need to get out the journal and write down, this is my intention at this. No, just receive it. There will be a rebirth. Maybe it will be internal and it will be a mindset shift and it will completely change your entire life. And then the next thing you know is something that you know deeply inside your soul. This is a new knowing. This is letting go of that limiting belief that was holding you back. I see it so differently now. It could be that because this is a solar eclipse. Solar eclipse usually are an internal shift as opposed to something that's manifested in your physical world. And so if it is that for you, embrace that, meditate on that, and just accept it and thank the universe for this huge lesson. It could be a tangible manifestation as well. There are no rules with eclipses. So it's a rule of thumb that a solar eclipse is internal and a lunar eclipse is something manifested. But you might get a huge manifestation as well that completely changes your whole life and it puts you on a completely new path. Just remember that eclipses are always timeline shifters. So to embrace that, whatever is coming in or whatever is leaving, because that's what eclipses do. Something comes in or something leaves, and embrace that and just be courageous. Like the high vibing Aries is, have the courage to accept the new beginning. Have the courage to say goodbye to the thing. For you, Aries, this is impacting your entire life. So I'm here for it. I'm an Aries sun, and it's very close to my natal sun, very close to my birthday. So I am here for it, and I will surrender. I will take my own advice, and I will surrender, and I will just embrace and embody what is coming in or what is leaving. Taurus, are you Taurus? This is 12. This is 12th house for Taurus. Right, so I'll say 12. 12 house for Taurus risings, or you Taurus sun. Okay, 12th house, this is the final house. So this is the let go, let goddess house. So again, rule of thumb, the solar eclipse is usually an internal shift in your heart and soul, a mindset shift that completely changes your life. For you, Taurus, it might be something like you are finally forgiving. You are finally letting it go. And you can finally say thank you for the lesson and transmute that into love. Perhaps it's been something that's been lingering and you've been working on since April of 2023. That forgiveness that you just couldn't quite get. You can internalize, or you could intellectualize it. You could talk about it. No, I totally forgive. No, but there was that last little wobble of forgiveness for you, or the letting go, something that you just couldn't let go. It could be that because it's the 12th house. Taurus, it could also be something to do with a hospital, an orphanage, a prison, any kind of an underground facility like that. You could, be getting a job at the hospital. You could have a new beginning at a hospital, something like that, or the job that you have at the hospital is leaving. I do encourage you to surrender and embody the lessons that have come since April of 2023. Maybe you got the job at the hospital in April 2023. It is now ending. It could be something as clear as that. It's also about addictions, Taurus. The 12th house rules addictions. So maybe you finally have stopped smoking, Maybe you finally have had the mindset shift and it's you literally don't even want the smoke, the drink, the sugar, the whatever, you know. Addictions are many things. It could be your Netflix addiction, right? There could be a massive mindset shift, a letting go of an addiction for you, Taurus. So whatever it is, whatever is coming in or whatever is leaving your life, surrender to it. We don't need to write down our intentions about those things. We don't need to say, I want that job at that hospital. We don't have to get into that energy. All we have to do is to surrender to what's coming in, to what's leaving, and embody the new timeline. This is your rebirth when it comes to all those 12th house things that I just mentioned, Taurus. And it's time for you to embody the new birth because we are all being encouraged to be courageous and brave and bold and take the leap at this new rebirth regarding all 12th house things like I just said for you. Gemini, 11th house. Gemini, this eclipse is hitting your 11th house. So it's a solar eclipse. This is a new moon on steroids. So we have been learning these lessons from this Aries-Libra axis since April of 2023. It's now almost exactly 2 years later, and this is the final thing. And so the universe is saying, here, I know you've felt it. I know you've been listening. You've gone through all of the lessons since April 2023. So now here's your rebirth. Here's your new beginning. And it has to do with 11th house things. friends, friendship groups, and groups, online groups, in-person groups, your community, okay? Your community. Also, it's the greatest good for all. The 11th house is the greatest good for all. So you're going to finally know what you need to do regarding the thing, the decision, the job, the move. You're finally going to know what to do because you finally know what will be the decision, which is the greatest good for all. You're finally going to start a new community. You're finally going to get into that friendship group that is more aligned to your soul. Or, on the other hand, eclipses take things out. So you're finally going to leave that friendship group that is no longer serving you. You're finally going to leave that online community. You're finally going to leave that community. You know, things come in, things leave at an eclipse. The 11th house is also all things technology. Okay. So if you can think about maybe AI is an example, right? So are you finally going to embrace AI and have a relationship with AI? Because for the longest time you were like, nope, 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 they're taking all our jobs and oh, it's evil. And so finally, maybe now you're learning to, okay, so AI is not leaving. Okay, so maybe I need to learn AI. Technology of all sorts, not just computer technology, but there might be a whole new rebirth regarding technology. You might be an inventor. You might be able to invent a whole new medical system that's going to cure a thing. So that could be you as well. So technology, it's also the future. The 11th house is the future. So connecting with your future self. Maybe you're finally going to have the meditation. You're going to connect with your future self. You're going to know what to do. Boop, boop, boop. You're going to be courageous and bold, make all the decisions because you've connected with your future self in your meditations. So I love the 11th house. It is the future. It's the greatest good for all. And dream big and connect with your future self. If you're like, I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not feeling any of these things. I'm not friendships, groups, community. I don't know what she's talking. I would highly recommend that you do a meditation around this eclipse and with the intention of connecting with your future self, because your future self's going to know exactly what you need to do. Be courageous, be bold, take the leap, become the entrepreneur, perhaps online. Maybe you're going to become an online entrepreneur. It could be something as literal as that if you're a Gemini rising. Okay, but embrace the childlike innocent innocence of an Aries and be bold and brave and be the hero of your own story. Cancer, 10th house. Cancer, are you a Cancer rising or Cancer sun or Cancer moon? If you're Cancer rising, this eclipse is hitting your 10th house. So what's coming in? What's leaving? We always look at that at eclipses, right? Now, it could be a massive mindset shift and it's going to crack your heart open and it's going to be 10th house stuff. And it could have to do with your dad because the 10th house is the dad and it's the father figure and it's the CEO and it's the boss, right? So something regarding a father figure could happen. So it could come in, could leave. Um, Also, perhaps you're going to have a title change. The 10th house is a title change from Ms. to Mrs. You might be getting married, or you might be going from Ms. to or Mrs. to Ms. So you're going to have a title change that way because you're getting a divorce. Always remember, eclipses are something coming in, something leaving, and it might be tangible, but it might be a mindset shift when it comes to a solar eclipse, okay? So it could be title change. It could be something about a father figure or a CEO type or a boss figure, but it could also be about you becoming the boss or you becoming a father, right? Or yeah, starting a new relationship with your dad. Maybe you haven't talked to your dad for years, and this is going to be a new beginning. Um, Something about your career as well. The 10th house is the career, and you might have a massive new beginning on steroids regarding your career. A whole fresh new beginning regarding your career. But remember, it's a rebirth. We can all embrace this rebirth energy at this creator degree of 0 degree Aries. Everything's hitting it right before. We got the equinox just like 9 days before. We've got the Kali Yuga 8 days before. We've got Venus into retrograde, Neptune into Aries the next day, hitting that 0 degree creator mark. There's a creation that is dying to be rebirthed when it comes to your 10th house. So yes, maybe you're going to become a father. Maybe you're going to become the boss. Maybe you're going to start a amazing new career. And that also being said, something might be taken out regarding all those things so that you can have a rebirth. So you might lose your job. You know, the relationship with your dad might be bad so that you can start a new relationship with him. All those things, just think something might come in, something might leave, and it's all to be a rebirth for you to have a rebirth so that you can step into that co-creative vibe. You can be courageous, you can be bold, you can be an entrepreneur, you can take the leap, and you can be the hero of your own story. Okay? So that was for Cancer. Now we're going to Leo. Leo's ninth house. Are you Leo rising? Ninth house. Okay, you are being encouraged to have a rebirth. You're going to have a rebirth in the ninth house. Ninth house is the spiritual house. So you might have a spiritual awakening. And we've got, with Neptune going into Aries the next day, yeah, that is already spiritual rebirth vibe. So Leo rising people, put it out there if you would like this to be a spiritual rebirth for you. It's a very strong possibility for you. And you might also leave a religion so that your new spiritual beliefs can come in, right? That might be taken from you. The religion you grew up in. You might finally decide to be the hero of your own journey, and you'll be able to make the decision with a clear head because you've been having these messages since April of 2023. Now you've had 2 years almost to the exact day. You've had 2 years of lessons with these eclipses in Aries and Libra, and now you know what to do. And it's hitting your ninth house. Now you know what you want to do with your spiritual belief system. And it could also have to do with learning something, right? Because this is the post-secondary house. So you might finally sign up for that master's course or you want to learn something new. You finally are going to step on the path of learning something new. The ninth house is also the publishing house. So you might finally publish the book, or you might finally learn how to publish, or you might finally start writing the books that you can publish. Ninth house is also foreigners, so foreign people born from different countries. And as well, it is foreign countries. So it's like taking the trip that you've always wanted to take, or moving to that country that you always wanted to move to. So Leo, it's exciting. That's an exciting house for you to have a rebirth. Don't let the conjunction to Mercury retrograde or the conjunction to Neptune get you all brain foggy, okay? You know what to do. These lessons have been coming at you for 2 years now. And now it's the rebirth that you so deserve because you went through all the hard lessons. You got into right relationship with yourself. You got into the right relationships. You left the toxic friends. Da, 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 da. You made all the decisions. And so now here you are. This is your chance for a rebirth at the time of this solar eclipse in your ninth house. Okay. And it's time to take that step and be courageous like an Aries. Be brave, be bold, take the step, do it with a childlike innocence. And the universe is going to congratulate you. Something's going to come in or something's going to leave to get you onto the timeline regarding all those ninth house things. So that's very exciting for you, Leo. Let us know in the comments if this is resonating for you. Virgo, eighth house. Are you Virgo rising? Eighth house. Eighth house is the death rebirth house. So don't let it scare you, Virgos, okay? But it is like, you want rebirth? This is the death rebirth house, okay? So you might have to let that thing die. Let that relationship die. You might need to leave the husband, okay? You might need to make that big, bold decision, right? Because we've been feeling it since something, maybe the relationship started in April of 2023. And now, 2 years later, you know what you need to do. You need to be your own hero. You need to step up like a big, bold Aries. And Aries know what to do. Aries make decisions, right? So you'll know what to do at the time. And it's death rebirth for you, Virgos. So something is going to be reborn. And perhaps it's about you letting something die, a relationship, a job, leaving the husband. Yes, perhaps it is that for you. The eighth house is the butterfly house, right? So it's the transformation house. You couldn't even be the caterpillar even if you wanted to, right? Because you are now a butterfly. You're a completely different being. And you might feel that since April of 2023, you might feel like you are a completely different person since then. And so now it's time to be your own hero, to embrace those Aries vibes, be your own hero, make the decisions, be bold, be brave, take the leap, do it with childlike innocence. You don't need to be warlike. That's shadow vibe Aries. You don't need to start a war. You don't need to fight. But instead, you need to make a decision with childlike innocence, be bold and brave, and do the thing, right? And so I think you're really going to be feeling it, Virgo, because it's hitting your eighth house of death, rebirth, and transformation. And perhaps you know how to transform your life now. Perhaps you've been thinking about it for 2 years, right? But now you know how to be the hero of your own journey. And now that hero energy is going to punch you and you're going to know what you need to do. The eighth house is also chunky money. So it is inheritance, it is taxes, it's the money you make with your spouse, it's all that kind of money. It's not the money you make on your own, it's like group money. So something might happen then regarding chunky money in your house. You might need to make some decisions about that, create a will maybe, or maybe some money's going to be coming in. The eighth house is also your sex life. So maybe, just maybe, you're going to have a rebirth in your sex life. Maybe you haven't had a sex life for years and now you're going to be reborn. Maybe you're going to be reborn. Maybe you've had a sexual partner, but you're going to be reborn with the sex that you have with your partner now. So it's all those eighth house things for you, Virgo. So it's very, it could be like completely life-changing for you, but I highly encourage you to know that you could do this. You've had 2 years of lessons, and I encourage you to be that hero in your own story and make the decisions, be bold, be brave. Maybe you're going to be even starting a new business because Aries is the great entrepreneur, and maybe you've decided you are now going to be a sex coach. Like it could be as literal as that, right? So Virgo, embrace all the death rebirth vibes of this eclipse and incur and embody the rebirth that the universe is offering to you, whether it's something that's coming in or leaving. Just know that it is going to be your rebirth and to embody that energy because this is that death rebirth house for you. Okay, Libra, it's your seventh house. Okay, this is where Libra loves being. Libra loves being in the seventh house. It belongs in the seventh house, right? And so this is this is all things relationship. Okay, Libra, this is that you know this energy well and you love being in relationships, Libra risings, right? So seventh house for you, this is your spouse, this is your best friend, this is your business partner, this is also your open enemies. Okay. So maybe, just maybe, there's going to be that courage from Aries within you to finally talk to the bully and say, no, bully, I am no longer available for your bullying. It might be that because it's open enemies. It's like somebody you know. This is not a hidden enemy. The hidden enemies are in the 12th house, but your open enemies are in the seventh, and you know who they are, and you might finally stand up to your bully because you're bold and you're brave, like a Aries is. And Aries are very bold and they're very brave, and they make the decisions. They go do the damn thing. Okay. Libra, it might also be about a marriage. You might be literally getting married. You might you might actually be getting married. Or Libra, your spouse might be leaving you. No, I'm not trying to be fear-based, Libra, okay? I'm just telling you, this is all about relationships. And you've known it since April of 2023. It's been almost exactly to the day. You've had 2 years of lessons regarding these relationships, these closest relationships. Best friend might not really be your best friend. Or boom, the universe gifts you with your best friend right around this eclipse. And this is your best friend for life now. These are your closest relationships. These are the closest bullies. You know these people are bullying you, right? And so now you know what to do. And I want you to encourage not only the rebirth, you are going to be reborn. Perhaps you've been bullied your whole life. And finally, you have the internal shift within you, and you know exactly how you feel about being bullied, and you know exactly what to say because you are embodying that rebirth from the Aries, which is courageous, bold, brave, taking the leap, doing the thing. Because an Aries knows what to do when it's at its high vibe, and that's exactly what this is all about for you, all about your relationships. You've learned so much from relationships since April of 2023, Libras, and now you know what to do. And now you can be bold and now you can be brave because you were listening to the cosmos and you felt it and you knew. So, best of luck to you, Libra. If there's a relationship that's leaving, surrender to it and say goodbye. If there's a relationship that's coming in, surrender to it and welcome it. Scorpio Rising, sixth house. This is me. I'm a Scorpio Rising. So that means that my Aries sun is in the sixth. So Scorpio Rising, sixth house. Okay, we have felt it since April of 2023 because the nodes of Aries and Libra have been going. They started in April 2023, almost exactly 2 years later. This is the final eclipse. This is the final lesson when it comes to our sixth house things, health. So a lot of us have changed our health and it's coming to a culmination point and we know it now. Maybe it's a new start or maybe it's finally gone. Like we never thought we could stop eating the thing. We never thought we could stop smoking and it's gone. It's finally gone. Either it's gone or we know it has to go. Okay. So for us Scorpio rising people, it's a health activation on steroids. It's a rebirth on steroids. And for a lot of us, we've known the health thing, we've known what we had to do, and we've been working on it. And now it is like it's our new lifestyle. We know. And it's those everyday things that we do or that we don't do. It's what we are consuming every day or what we are not consuming every day. And now we are reborn. And so if we are feeling like, oh, yeah, right, I've been feeling that for 2 years and I really haven't done that work yet. Well, this eclipse is giving you that big, bold, courageous hero energy to do it. And we know exactly what to do. And you feel like I'm speaking directly to you and you know exactly what you need to do. And that's the highest vibe of Aries. They know what to do. They are the great entrepreneurs as well. So perhaps, just perhaps, you are making the big, bold decision to start the new entrepreneurial online role as a health coach. Like it could be as literal as that. Okay. This also has to do with pets. The sixth house is pets. So maybe there's a pet coming in or a pet leaving, right? Or maybe something's happened since April of 2023 and something is happening to your pet now and you've known it, right? Or maybe you've wanted a pet since then. Now the pet's finally coming in. Okay, but sixth house, I always say it's the boring house, right? And I have so much energy in the sixth, so don't I know it? But it's like those atomic habits that you do. What are you doing every single day? What are your routines? You know, do you get up in the morning, have the celery juice, go for the walk? And it's like boring, boop, 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 and it's scheduled, boop, 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 boop. But it's like that's how you stay healthy. And that's how you keep going on and being fabulous you, right? And so the sixth house is very powerful. The sixth house is also the healer house. This is the healer. This is the house of the healer. So people that have a lot of sixth house energy, we are the healers. And so we might be getting a healer rebirth. We might be realizing we have actually healed ourselves, whether it's a physical ailment, an emotional, spiritual, we have finally healed ourselves. We've come so far on our healing journey, our own personal healing journey, that now we're stepping in to our healing energies. We are now becoming the healer that we were born to be. Okay, so it's exciting, Scorpio risings. I'm excited. Let's do this thing. Let's be courageous. Remember, these lessons have been happening since April of 2023. Now we're stepping into it. Now we know what to do. We are all being encouraged to have the rebirth, embody the rebirth, embrace the rebirth. and be like a high vibing Aries with it. Be courageous, be bold, be the hero of our own journey, and rebirth ourselves at the time of this eclipse. Sagittarius Rising, fifth house. Saggies. We love the fifth house. So fun. So fun. It's the fun house. It's creative. It is the artist's house. So, yes, it could be painting a picture, but it could also be creating an online course, right? Any kind of creation. You're creating anything. You're writing the book. You're any kind of creation. It's very creative, it's very artistic. You can't put borders on an artist, can you? Okay, so Sagittarius rising people, you might be having a rebirth as the artist that you were born to be. Now you know what to do. Now you know what creative project to start, or perhaps it's already started and now it's completely changing your life. Okay, the fifth house is also children. So I got news for you, Saggy rising. If you have been trying for a baby, for years. This could be the activation. This could be the rebirth. You might be birthing a baby at the time of this eclipse, and you might also be getting pregnant at the time. This is all things children. So if you already have children, you're Sagittarius rising, there could be a rebirth with your children. It's something you've been working on. You've known it for 2 years. Whatever this rebirth is in your fifth house, it started in April of 2023. We've been feeling it. We've been noticing the vibes. We've been knowing we've had to do this thing. And now 2 years later, here's the final lesson on it. Here's the rebirth energy. And so maybe, just maybe, you've been working on your relationship with your teenage kids, with your grown children. And this is the rebirth that you've all been working on, right? So fifth house is very creative. I do encourage all of you to grab your journal, grab your coloring journal. This is the one that Joanna and I have created. We offer it actually to the people that were doing the equinox workshop with this weekend, and we've given you 20 mandalas, right? Some are very detailed, some are not. Joanna's channeled a message, and then we provide journal prompts to work through the energy of each mandala. And by coloring, that activates the creation vibe within us. That activates that inner child within us. So the fifth house is all about inner child work. I encourage you to get the journal, to get out the coloring pencils, to get into that creative vibe. Even if you don't think you're artsy fartsy, even if you don't think you have a crafting bone in your body, I encourage you to go there, because there's a rebirth within you, a creative vibe, a creative spark in you that is dying to be rebirthed. So I encourage you not to drown in the conjunction of this Mercury retrograde and this conjunction to this Neptune that can be so brain foggy, so delusional and confusing, but instead to encourage this rebirth that the universe is offering to you. Something might leave, something might come in. That's neither here nor there with an eclipse. There's no rule of thumb, but something does come in or something leaves at an eclipse to get you on a new timeline for a rebirth. This particular solar eclipse is about a rebirth. And this particular solar eclipse is encouraging all of us to be courageous like an Aries, to be brave like an Aries, to be a hero like an Aries, be an entrepreneur like an Aries when it comes to all those fifth house things for you. Capricorn Rising, fourth house, fourth house. Okay, Cappies. So this is house, home, property. House, home, property. Is there a rebirth? Has a rebirth been happening? Is it happening right now? Did it happen just recently? A rebirth. You got a new home. You bought the apartment. You bought the new house. You're putting your house up for sale. Is that all happening right now for you, Capricorn Rising? It could be all things house, home, property, perhaps a renovation to your house. You're finally doing it, or the renovations are finally done, and now it's a rebirth, right? House, home, property for sure, fourth house. But it's also your emotions and your feelings. Okay, so this might be a very internal shift for you, Capricorn Risings, and you finally are letting it go. You're finally forgiving. And it's opening up your heart, whatever it is, someone broke your heart, you're having that internal shift that you never thought you would have regarding feelings, deep, deep, deep feelings. They might even be subconscious feelings. They might even be feelings that you thought that gotten over and you didn't think it bothered you anymore, but it's coming to the surface. I encourage you to go through it. Here's another book I'll show you. This is my shadow work book. This is a perfect time for you, Capricorn Rising people, to do the shadow work. So shadows are not to be feared. Our shadows will stay with us just like they do when you're walking on a sidewalk. They won't leave your side. Your shadows won't leave your side until you actually give them a look, until you actually embrace them, you actually transmute the energy. I teach you how to do that with 7 brain hacks in this book that are so helpful. Things like rewriting the script, things like going through the no fault process. I give you all a step-by-step guide with journal prompts. So Capricorn Rising people, you might really be guided to do that deep shadow work so that you can have that rebirth, so that you can start the new emotional cycle because you're done. You're sick and tired of your own BS, Capricorn Rising, and you're sick and tired of being so upset and so triggered, whatever it is, right? And it's time to let it go. And then, of course, the fourth house is also all things mother wounds. So Capricorn Rising, you might be becoming a mother, you might be birthing your first baby. You might be birthing any baby, might not be just be your first baby, but another baby. You might be pregnant. You might find out you're pregnant because the fourth house is all things mother. You might lose your mom, so I hate to, scare anyone. Or you might start a rebirth with your mother. So maybe you haven't spoken with your mother for years, and it's going to be rebirth for a new opportunity to have a new kind of relationship with your mom. So house, home, property, mother wounds, sisterhood wounds too. And family lineage stuff, like all of a sudden, knock, knock on the door. Here, I'm your long lost sibling. Might be a rebirth that way. And you have this sibling you didn't even know. So, all things family, mothers, house, home, property for you, Capricorn Rising. And I encourage all of you to go back to April of 2023. You've been learning these lessons. This is stuff that you've been guided by the universe to get to this point for a new beginning on steroids regarding all those things I just said about fourth house. So when that opportunity comes in for you, right around the time of this eclipse, even 6 months later after this eclipse, when that opportunity comes for the rebirth, I encourage you to embrace the high vibing Aries energy of being bold, being brave, being courageous, and being the hero of your own story. Okay, Aquarius Rising, third house. Third house for Aquarius Rising. Okay, third house is the junk drawer. It's a lot of things. But there is a rebirth here for you, Aquarius Rising, regarding third house things. So let's go through what it could be. It could be your neighbors, your neighborhood. It could be your transportation, like a car or a scooter or a bike. It could be uh, where you live. So you might move from neighborhood to neighborhood, right? And it could be a short distance trip or moving a short distance. Okay, it could be a cousin or a friend that feels like a sibling, or it could be a sibling. So family, it's family stuff, but it's more those tight bonds that you have with your family. So all those things, all those third house things for you, Aquarius Rising. Okay, what's the rebirth? Are you moving into a new neighborhood? Are you getting a new car? So whatever it has been, you've been feeling it since April of 2023. It's almost exactly 2 years later. And this is the final eclipse on that Aries-Libra axis. This is the final one. And the universe is saying, here you go. Here's your rebirth. I've been urging you to tidy up all that third house stuff for 2 years, right? And now here's your rebirth in the third house. So what is it for you? And something might be leaving. So your car might quit. It's finally done. It could be all those things I said about the third house, something might be leaving. But all those things I said about the third house, something might be coming in and you're having a rebirth. So for instance, if you have a sibling, and you haven't spoken with them for a long, long time, this could be a rebirth, a time to, mend those sibling wounds. It could be stuff like that. But whatever it is, there is a rebirth coming in. I encourage you to surrender to it, to embody the high vibing Aries, because the high vibing Aries is courageous and bold and it's the hero of their own journey. It's the great entrepreneur. Third house is also all things internet, I should have said, I'm sorry. And it's communication. the way you write, the way you speak. So you might be rebirthing or birthing a podcast or a book or a blog. It could be all those things regarding the internet as well for you with third house stuff, but you're going to know what to do. You've felt it since April of 2023. You're going to know what to do. Don't let the conjunction to Mercury retrograde or the conjunction to Neptune make you all brain foggy and confused. No, you know what to do. Be bold and brave like an Aries. You know what to do. Okay. And so it's all those third house things for you. And last but certainly not least, second house for Pisces Rising. This is second house for you. All things worth. You know your worth, Pisces Rising. You know your worth. And when you know your worth, that's when all of the abundance flows. So you'll see that the second house has everything to do with money. So, and money is an energetic, it's not a thing. Many people will argue me and say, no, it is a thing. I have the cash in my hand. What are you talking about? But money in itself is an energy of flow. And when you know your worth, that's when you flow all of the abundance, not just money, all of the abundance that is awaiting you will flow into your life. Love and joy, and yes, money too. So, Pisces, there's a rebirth here regarding money and your worth. Oh my gosh, how exciting for you. And you've felt it since April of 2023, and you've been guided by the universe for 2 years almost to the day. And now you're having a new beginning, a new birth regarding second house. So your possessions, your money, the money that you earn, you might get a huge raise at work, or you might get a new job, right? Or something abundant will come into your life, and perhaps something abundant will leave. So that job that you have hated over the last 2 years, it's going to leave. The eclipses, they take things out, they put things in, they put you on a different timeline. Just know if you do lose the job, right? Something regarding your money, if you do lose a possession, just know that the universe is putting you on the right timeline, and all of your abundance and all of your self-worth is coming to you to embody your worthiness. You are worthy just because you were born Pisces rising. So getting into that and knowing your worth will really help you activate this new birth. And I encourage you to not drown in the conjunction to Mercury retrograde. Don't drown in the conjunction to Neptune. That's your ruler. So you could get really brain foggy. You could get really confused. Don't drown in that. Instead, embrace this new birth in your life and embody high vibing Aries, which is all about making a decision, knowing what to do, having clarity of the mind, and taking the leap and being courageous and doing the damn thing and being the hero of your own journey when it comes to your worth and your worthiness and all of that abundance awaiting you, Pisces. So that was the all signs forecast. Now I am shuffling as I summarize for you what I've been saying since April of 2023. The eclipses on the Aries and Libra axis have been occurring. So it's 2 years almost to the day that the final eclipse is happening. It's a new moon solar eclipse, the final one. So it's offering us, the universe is offering us a new beginning because it's a new moon on steroids. And new moons are always about something new coming in, right? A new start. And so since it's an eclipse, it might be something new coming in, a new start, but something might need to leave first. If you haven't been doing the thing you knew you needed to do over the last 2 years, since April of 2023, and you haven't been making the decisions, and you haven't been, especially regarding relationships, getting into right relationships, friends, lovers, partners, business partners, if you haven't been setting the boundaries and saying goodbye and getting into right relationships so that you can get into right relationship with yourself, because Libra wants the right relationship and Aries is bold and brave and makes the decision. And if you've been feeling that for a long time and you haven't been doing it, something might be leaving. A relationship really might be leaving at this new moon eclipse, new moon solar eclipse. And it might be very jarring for many people and very surprising. But do know that this is putting you on the right path, because eclipses are always the timeline shifters. They are the great timeline shifters. And whatever comes, embody it. Whatever leaves, let it go. The key word is surrender. And we are all being encouraged to be brave and bold and courageous and a hero, like a high vibing Aries at the time of this solar eclipse on March 29th at 8 degrees of Aries, the final in the Aries-Libra axis. This is a new beginning on steroids. So comment below, where is this solar eclipse hitting in your natal birth chart? Are you feeling it? Do you already know the vibes? Again, I am recording this on the spring equinox. So it's 9 days prior, and I am feeling this energy intensely already. Okay, so I'm going to pull a tarot card on this new moon solar eclipse. And here's the card. We got the Four of Cups upright. Oh, she's so bored. Oh God, he's so bored and not making a decision and not doing the thing. And I know it's been hard on the Aries Libra axis. I know because it's all about the me and the we. And it's all about, well, yeah, no, I'm not happy in this friendship. Yeah, no, I'm not happy in this marriage. No, I know I'm not, but like, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? And so you don't make the decision. I know a lot of friendships have been lost, and I know a lot of marriages have been breaking up over the last 2 years. And it's just this feeling of the hamster wheel every day. Same thing. So if it's not a relationship, it's your job. It's the same thing. You're on a hamster wheel. It is Groundhog Day every single day. It's the same thing every single day. And it is boring. And I think for a lot of people, we've been feeling those vibes. They're not sure what to do. We felt it. We knew perhaps we needed to be the hero of our own journey. We knew we needed to make a decision. We knew we needed to be bold. We knew we needed to be courageous, but we haven't been. So I think for a lot of people, it's going to be jarring. Relationships will end. People are going to finally make some hard decisions. I think it's going to be difficult for many people. Please do know that this new timeline is offering a rebirth. This is rebirth energy because it's hitting that creator degree at 0 degrees of Aries. And the next day after this eclipse, we've got Neptune going into Aries, hitting that creator degree. This is rebirth because it's a new earth, because this is a new timeline for all of humanity, not just everyone personally, but this is a whole new world, and it's so hard to make change. I get it. I get it. If you stay in this energy, it's very difficult to see beyond. Once you get so on that hamster wheel year after year after year, and you're hitting your head on the wall, and you try to keep in a relationship, and you know it's not right for you, but you keep hitting the wall, you keep hitting the wall, you keep hitting the wall. You can only do that for so long before you actually have to be the hero of your own story. So I think for a lot of people out there, there's going to be some relationships that are leaving, rebirths that maybe don't have to do with relationships, but you haven't known what to do. You haven't known what step to take. You didn't know how to be the hero of your own journey, even though you tried, even though you did ask the universe, even though you didn't hear the messages. So it's going to be jarring for some people. And so I encourage those of you out there that are facing a very difficult decision to make, or if you are given a very big, bold decision by a partner, or you're losing the job, I encourage all of you to know that you're being put onto a timeline. I'm not trying to silver line you, I'm really not, but you're being put onto a timeline that is better for you. And I think that these days of like every single day is the same, Groundhog Day on the hamster wheel, those days are going to be over if you can just embody the great hero that lives within. And we all have that hero within us. Wherever Aries falls in our natal birth chart, that is where we are the hero of our own story. So go back, listen with that in your mind. This is where I'm my greatest hero. This is where I can be the hero. Wherever Aries is in your birth chart, that is your hero story. And so I'm encouraging all of you to remember that no matter what comes in, no matter what leaves, no matter what timeline shift, if it's a jolting timeline or if it's just not as jarring as your friends and family with all of their text messages coming through at the time of this solar eclipse, just know that we're all meeting up. We're all meeting up in this very changing year. This year is changing for all of us. And I encourage all of you to embrace and surrender to the lessons, surrender to what is coming in, surrender to what is leaving, and knowing that we are all being rebirthed in this crazy year of 2025. It is a 9 year, it's all about change. And I saw that I saw months ago that March 2025 is the beginning of a whole new world. So please do keep that in mind and know that if you're here listening to this, if you're here on Earth, you are here for it and you can do it. So I hope this video has served you well. Please do share in the comments, where does Aries fall in your birth chart? Where are you being called to be the hero of your own journey? Happy solar eclipse, happy spring equinox, happy end of Kali Yuga, happy Venus retro. You name it, we're there. Neptune going into Aries. Well, that is new era energy. So let's all embrace it and let's all be the hero of our own story. Wishing you all a blessed solar eclipse. Thank you for watching.